What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong today. We're going to talk this real shit today. Some of y'all might be in y'all feelings. Some of y'all might. Some of y'all won't. At the end of the day, it really don't matter if you in your feelings or not. I'm going to say some shit. And it's just so sad that it's said on a day like today, right? But it has to be said. This is smoke and mirrors when you tired of being gassed and you tired of all that other shit. Men get crucified all the time for doing wrong things in relationships, so-called mistreating women wrong. And men regularly get crucified for this shit, right? But there's a document that states Martin Luther King, bless his soul, he wasn't all the way righteous. He wasn't a praying man. And this says a lot about the preachers in the community. Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., civil rights activist, and everything under the sun. But everybody's not telling that Dr. Martin Luther King cheated on his wife numerous times. And it's documented. It's documented that this man, and I don't have nothing against him, I'm just calling it what it is. Don't shoot the messenger. But the message has already been out there for dumb long. I'm gonna let y'all listen to Charleston White. He gonna talk.
The FBI studied Malcolm, and when they studied Martin, one went and spoke and came back to the hotel and prayed and talked on the phone with his wife, and they don't have no dirt on him. The other one went and spoke and came back to the room and partied and fucked like a motherfucker in every town he went to. That was the Christian. How do you know that, though? Because it's documented evidence. The FBI said that Malcolm X was a saint compared to the doctor. It's very well documented that Dr. Martin Luther King was just like any man. He was a whoremongering preacher compared to Malcolm, who has no documentation of doing anything. The FBI.
It was just stated that Martin Luther King cheated on his wife numerous times. But in the image, in the eyes of the people, he portrayed to be this peaceful man, this nonviolent man. And he walked around the globe doing it, preaching nonviolence, but he wasn't true to himself. And men right now in these times get crucified for even thinking about cheating on a woman, or more or less getting caught cheating on a woman. You have so many women go on Instagram. Hit the like button for me, everybody. Welcome to the show. You got so many women that's on these pages, right? They talk about how the bed this, the bed dirty that, the bed this, the bed dirty that. Martin Luther King was just another black man that did what black men did. He was tempted by temptations. Doug, what's up? Hit the like button for me. He was temptations and all that. Yo,
What's up, man?
we on live right now. What's the word?
I called you at the wrong time.
Yeah, go check my live out. I'll hit you back.
All right, all right.
Yeah, but we right now we on talking about how regular black men get crucified, but everybody gives Martin Luther King a lot of praise, and we give him praise for certain things. I give him a lot of roses for certain things that he stood for, and I understood what he was trying to do. But you can't be out here preaching as a reverend and you committing one of the biggest sins under God's eyes and the church's eyes, and you in front of all these people and you talking. It's the smoke and mirrors when you tired of being gassed, yo. Martin Luther King gave a message, and it was about peace. But Malcolm gave a message that explains why Martin Luther King was on the peace mission. Let's hear what he has to say. Let's get into this. I like dealing with topics like this because it's all dialogue. And nowadays, we got to really do research behind the things that we're looking so deep into. No freaky. Why you think he got a national holiday? You got to be somehow tied with the government to get a national holiday. Listen to what's being said.
America has a very serious problem. Not only does America have a very serious problem, but our people have a very serious problem. America's problem is us. We're her problem. The only reason she has a problem is she doesn't want us here. So-called Negroes, second-class citizens.
Deportation, ICE. There was one time where there was a lot of talk in the political world about sending blacks back to Africa. How? Blacks are the original Americans. But Malcolm X was trying to tell us this the whole time, but Martin Luther King was preaching peace and nonviolence and all that, while we, people of all color, not just black, because if you're not from the European countries and you from any other country other than the European countries, you're associated with black blood. Let's be real. But listen to Malcolm.
We're her problem. The only reason she has a problem is she doesn't want us here.
Talking about America.
So-called Negroes, second-class citizens, ex-slaves. We have a common enemy. We have this in common. We have a common oppressor, a common exploiter, and a common discriminator. So once we all realize that we have this common enemy, then we unite on the basis of what we have in common. And what we have foremost in common is that enemy, the white man. He's an enemy to all of us. I know some of you all think that some of them are enemies. Time will tell.
What you're about to hear is one of the most powerful speeches ever given about race, power, and betrayal in America.
Listen closely.
In 1963,
Smoke and mirrors when you tired of being
gassed.
gassed.
Audience in Detroit and spoke truths America was never ready to hear. He called out the white man for what he really was, an oppressor, a liar, and a thief. The speech.
Listen closely to Malcolm X and how he describes what these politicians are. Donald Trump is not scared. Donald Trump. And he's showing everybody just how much of a gangster he really is. If a black man was to do that, black man be crucified right now. And that's the whole society as a whole right now. It's still divided. It's still a racial divided society.
Was called the very speech that tore straight through the lies America was built on. Give this.
Now, don't get me wrong. This message you're about to hear, some white people heard it too. And some white people agreed with what Malcolm was saying. This is why Malcolm was gunned down. He was infiltrated by the government through his own people and assassinated because he, on militant time, he said Martin Luther King tried to make us defenseless, and most of us are defenseless. That's why you get the protesting with the signs and the marching and the bullshit that the government don't even respect.
Video alike to show your support, and subscribe so you never miss any blazing truth they wanted kept hidden from us. Continue this explosive reckoning straight from the mouth of Malcolm X.
I would like to make a few comments concerning the difference between the Black Revolution and the Negro Revolution. There's a difference.
He just stated there's a difference between the Black Revolution and the Negro Revolution. The Negro Revolution, he was calling Martin Luther King's revolution, the Negro Revolution. And his revolution was the Black Revolution. But like he said, with all revolution, there's bloodshed. People are getting unalived. People are getting castrated. People are getting assassinated in the revolution.
Are they both the same? And if they're not, what is the difference? What is the difference between a black revolution and a Negro revolution? First, what is a revolution? Sometimes I'm inclined to believe that many of our people are using this word revolution loosely, without taking careful consideration what this word actually means and what its historic characteristics are. When you study the historic nature of revolutions, the motive of a revolution, the objective of a revolution, and the result of a revolution, and the methods used in a revolution, you may change words. You may devise another program. You may change your goal and you may change your mind. Look at the American Revolution in 1776. That revolution was for what? For land. How was it? Why did they want land? Independence. How was it carried out? Bloodshed.
And that's how America was born. You heard what he said. America was born in 1776. Land was taken and blood was shed. Listen to the man.
You may change your goal and you may change your mind. Look at the American Revolution in 1776. That revolution was for what? For land. How was it? Why did they want land? Independence. How was it carried out? Bloodshed. And the only way they could get it was bloodshed. The French Revolution, what was it based on? The landless against the landlord. What was it for? Land. How did they get it? Bloodshed. Was no love lost. Was no compromise.
This is what they taught y'all in your history books. Remember the French-American War? It was over land. It was over something that wasn't somebody else's, and they decided they wanted it, so they killed the natives in the area.
Was no negotiation. I'm telling you, you don't know what our revolution is. Because when you find out what it is, you'll get back in the alley. You'll get out of the way. The Russian Revolution, what was it based on? Land. The landless against the landlord. How did they bring it about? Bloodshed.
This is why there's beef with Russia. Did you just hear it? This is exactly why things are going on right now in the world right now. Y'all not understanding what's taking place, but it's happening in the world right now as we speak. It was being told back in the 50s, in the 40s. Nobody wanted to listen. Now everybody's running crazy.
What was it based on? Land. The landless against the landlord. How did they bring it about? Bloodshed. You haven't got a revolution that doesn't involve bloodshed. And you're afraid to bleed. I said you're afraid. Long as the white man sent you to Florida, you bled. He sent you to Germany, you bled. He sent you to the South Pacific to fight the Japanese, you bled. You bleed for white people. But when it comes time to see the old churches being bombed and little blood together, you bleed when the white man says bleed. You bite when the white man says bite. And you bark when the white man says bark. I hate to say this about us, but
it has a lot to do with the acting game, the rap game, society, the workforce. Everything has to do with us bowing down to a system. You might know more than the system knows. You might be a little bit more educated than the system knows. But a lot of us are roaming around here programmed, thinking that we have to abide by a system that don't consider us equal or greater than or a contribution. All you're being looked at as a slave still on plantation.
It's true. How you gonna be nonviolent in Mississippi as violent as you were in Korea? How can you justify being nonviolent in Mississippi and Alabama when your churches are being bombed?
They didn't want Malcolm to live because he was talking to the black people. How you gonna go fight a war? A lot of y'all go and join the army and the armed forces and the military to better your lives, make money. Y'all don't even know what y'all go out there for. Y'all want to be looked at in a society's eyes that wouldn't come and pay you no respect or have no televised funeral send-off for you if you was to get slain in a war you never knew nothing about. This is why Malcolm challenged Martin, and he says Martin wasn't, you know what I mean? Martin Luther King preached peace. I respect that. But he also cheated on his wife. Nobody talks about this. Regular black man, regular Spanish man, regular colored man, even a regular white man cheat on their woman in the street, they get condemned. They get bashed all over social media. And I ain't telling y'all to bash that, but I'm telling y'all to be transparent when you looking at certain things. Why you think he got a national holiday? He got a national holiday because he followed the blueprint that the FBI and the American government gave to him. Nobody wants to hear the truth, but did you know Martin Luther King was tied into that government somehow? They controlled him. And when he felt the pressures of their control, he tried to get away from it and broke free, and they assassinated him. This is my own opinion. With my research, nobody can tell me nothing. I listen to everything and I research everything. Martin Luther King's adultery and his extramarital affairs against his biblical oath. He committed a sin in the Lord's eyes. Was that his payment, being assassinated? God bless him. But we have to ask these things. The government has somewhat an eye on both him and Malcolm X. And when the government seen that Malcolm X was arming his people, he became a radical threat to his own country. Martin Luther King was preaching peace in the street, people getting killed still, people were getting hung back in them days while he's trying to get the government to look at a situation. The government didn't care because they had their own blueprint. They were stalking him, secretly calling him. He had meetings with certain political figures, and they probably told him behind closed doors, this is the program. Your program's not going to work. This is the program. You either get with the program and get your people to fall in line, or we just going to take it over and we going to get rid of you before you can even say a word. Look at all the people that came before him that tried to help black people. They got killed. Let's be real.
Mississippi, as violent as you were in Korea. How can you justify being nonviolent in Mississippi and Alabama when your churches are being bombed and your little girls are being murdered, and at the same time you're going to get violent with Hitler and Tojo and somebody else that you don't even know? If violence is wrong in America, violence is wrong abroad. If it's wrong to be violent, defending black women and black children and black babies and black men, then it's wrong for America to draft us.
If it's wrong for you to defend your family with violence, then it's wrong for you to join a service to go out there and literally bomb another country or harm another person from another land if you won't protect your own country and you was in the service. I am talking to all these people who served in the military. If you're not going to stand up and protect your country for real, then y'all was a bunch of puppets and fools that was pulled on by no freaky by the government to go out there and be pawns, disposable pawns in a game of political chess.
And make us violent abroad in defense of her. So I cite these various revolutions, brothers and sisters, to show you, you don't have a peaceful revolution. You don't have a turn the other cheek revolution. There's no such thing as a non-violent revolution. Only kind of revolution that's non-violent is the Negro Revolution.
The truth is, white America taught us to celebrate revolutions soaked in blood, so long as the blood wasn't theirs. They cheered for uprisings in France, China, Algeria, even their own. But when black people demand justice, they call it extremism. Malcolm exposed the double standard that kept us pacified while they built empires on stolen land and broken backs. Every real revolution in history has been violent, except one, the Negro Revolution. And now, you're about to know why in the next part of his speech.
The only revolution based on loving your enemy is the Negro Revolution. The only revolution in which the goal is a desegregated lunch counter, a desegregated theater, a desegregated park, and a desegregated public toilet. You can sit down next to white folks.
Some might just say that he was anti-white. He wasn't. He was just giving you the realities of what was going on at that time and how black people was being treated by white people. We ain't gonna say all people. Some people change. Yeah, we understand that. But history lessons that wasn't taught to us have to be learned, and they have to be understood that black people back in them days was being treated foul, man. Walking around being treated like animals and cattle and sleeping in barns with animals and smelling shit all day, people getting sick, babies dying, diseases are being made, and black people are being looked at as these nasty individuals. The whole time back then, they was forced to be in them conditions. Shout out to my boy Mouse. Definitely. Just hit the notification bell on the page. Subscribe to the page. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell. But I have to be real. The nonviolent movement didn't get us nowhere because shit is still happening to this day to black people, little kids, innocent children. And some of the shit is done by the streets. But let's talk about when the officers and the racist people who supposed to lead our cities and our communities in this country, those are the people who are killing us the most and the fastest. And a lot of y'all are going out here fighting for a country that wouldn't give a fuck about you. Malcolm X was trying to tell us this, and Martin Luther King was trying to go against our people toughening up and smartening up and arming up and utilizing all the constitutional rights we were given to bear arms and all that to protect us and our families. We were supposed to walk around here with just signs, bullhorns, speakers, and hum tunes. When y'all was following a person who cheated on his wife multiple times. So if a man cheated on his wife multiple times, he'll cheat on all the people that was following him. What do you really know about Martin Luther King Jr.? Respectfully, he's the only black man with a national holiday. Just like when Obama became president, they threw him right in the loop when it was about to be a black civil uproar because a lot of foul shit was happening to black people, and they threw us Obama to be quiet. And Obama gave you cheap ass phones. He didn't help no situations out. He strongly fought for gay rights. No disrespect to the gay community, but that was Obama's agenda. He was a part of an agenda. We keep it real. Trump tell the truth. They want to crucify him. I'm not a Trump supporter. But Trump, I'm not no supporters, B. I don't support this bullshit because a lot of this shit just be a game being played for how long it could be played. What are the American people really benefiting from all this shit going on? Because the people who's running the show, they got these big ass mansions. They got lifetime full accounts of money to where their great grand, great, great, great grand, great, 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 great grandkids don't never have to work again in life. Means is taking over the land that was people was murdered for, natives was murdered for, black descendants was murdered for, and they giving it to their descendants, stealing, just like it's been revealed, and they don't want you to hear this type of shit because this is the shit that'll have you thinking twice about being an American.
In the toilet. That's no revolution. Revolution is based on land. Land is the basis of all independence. Land is the basis of freedom, justice, and equality. The white man knows what a revolution is. He knows that the black revolution is worldwide in scope. The black revolution is sweeping Asia, sweeping Africa. It's rearing its head in Latin America. The Cuban Revolution, that's a revolution.
When Castro said no, what they do? They try to go to war with Cuba. The situation in Africa right now, he said no. They labeling him a terrorist. They saying he's supporting ISIS, but you got people in the UK and Russia and everywhere else literally killing people because they won't follow their dictatorship. The United States is becoming somewhat like that. The way Trump is doing his thing, he's running it like a dictatorship, if you ask me. So this whole thing with this world politics shit is all bogus. They all running from the same blueprint, but it's just like how it is in the street when people be hating on each other. It's always one that want to be the top dog. So all this shit is crazy.
Overturn the system. Revolution is in Asia. Revolution is in Africa. And the white man is screaming because he sees revolution in Latin America. How do you think he'll react to you when you learn what a real revolution is? You don't know what a revolution is. If you did, you wouldn't use that word. A revolution is bloody. Revolution is hostile. Revolution.
So you mean to tell me Malcolm wasn't being a smart individual trying to wake our people up and give us knowledge? He was giving us raw knowledge. He wasn't sugarcoating the shit. A lot of people have bad views on how Malcolm was moving, but Malcolm saw what was really going on, and he wasn't the one that can be convinced with the blueprint agenda. He couldn't be fooled, couldn't be manipulated, and he wasn't no punk. Salute. It's real life shit going on. Smoke and mirrors when you tired of being gas, bro. Hit the like button and notification bell. Hit the subscribe button, but most importantly, hit that notification bell that lets you know when I'm going live, because we talk real shit, bro. Unfiltered. We have dialogue. We talk about real shit that a lot of people don't even know. This is why they try to hide Black history, because Black history is the truth.
Knows no compromise. Revolution overturns and destroys everything that gets in its way. It's based on land. A revolutionary wants land so he can set up his own nation, an independent nation. These Negroes aren't asking for no nation. They're trying to crawl back on the plantation.
That's where the preaching with the signs come in. That's where the Black clergy come in. The black clergy is the most convincing clergy amongst Black people, where people go to church, they give up all their money to be fed a bunch of lies, and then go out here and get mistreated in the world, and then turn around and be like, why? Why you angry? I mean, you get angry because you allowing yourself to be misled by some of these preachers. Look at what's going on in the world. A lot of these preachers are becoming preachers to finesse you out of your money so they could be walking around in Louis Vuitton, Gucci, driving in Wraiths and Benzes and Bentleys and Rangers, and living in big mansions and got Miami cribs and all that, all off of your little hard-earned money and faith. The preacher man. Oh, y'all always been told that the preacher man is the biggest con artist in the world, and he don't pay taxes. They say don't talk about religion and politics. I talks about it because y'all scared to scratch the surface and see what's standing behind that smoking mirror. See, what y'all looking at is a smoky mirror. And when you subscribe to this channel and link to this channel, you take all that film and get it off the mirror, and you clear out the room, and now you see the mirror. This ain't your average program. And we give away money, we give away merchandise. We do our thing, man. But most importantly, we bring you back the reality, because nowadays people are living in facades and behind smoke screens, and a lot of people are blinded. A lot of people are out here on the drugs, and it's really fucking with people, and got people really thinking that they know what they know, and that should be wrong, man. Because most of y'all ain't doing no research out here. And that's all that's asked of you. That's all that's asked of you. Because when you research shit, you figure it out on your own. That way nobody can't tell you nothing. Smoke and mirrors, man. When you tired of being gassed, man.
When you want a nation, that's called nationalism. When the white man became involved in a revolution in this country against England, what was it for? He wanted this land so he could set up another white nation. That's white nationalism. The American Revolution was white nationalism. The French Revolution was white nationalism. All the revolutions that's going on in Asia and Africa today are based on what? Black nationalism. A revolutionary is a black nationalist. He wants a nation. If you're afraid of black nationalism, you're afraid of revolution.
This is why they assassinated Gaddafi. Gaddafi wasn't allowing the United States to come nowhere near his country. He had own banks out there, and black people were rich. There was no homelessness. There was communities built for the homeless people. The streets were clean. And it was black money. Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's take it back. We in the United States now. A whole area, rich, millionaire black people, black-owned businesses, a lot of black stuff going on. Black power was happening back Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. The government burnt it down. They said we can't have two banks in this country. The people got to come to us for the money. And what happened? Tulsa, Oklahoma burnt down. Y'all better wake up out here. Martin Luther King wasn't telling y'all this. But he knew about this was going to happen way before we even experienced it. That's why they got rid of Malcolm X. With his own slimy people. See, it be us that do it to ourselves. No freaky. Easily to be manipulated to go against your own who's speaking for all of us. That happened to me. I stood up for my people in these streets when the police and the system in this city was trying to treat my people wrong, and everybody thought I was bugging. Nobody stood behind me except Day Dirt. Shout outs to Day Dirt, aka Dayton Spady, and Stunner Gang, aka Hakeem Dixon. Then everybody started falling in line, making their own initiative groups and try to walk their own paths. And I shot everybody down because when it was time to stand the fuck up, y'all ran away and hid behind shit and watched to see how the system was going to react to me. And then when I showed people how I can put the motherfucking system at a standstill too, because they human just like I am, and I know my motherfucking rights because I research everything and I do it within the guidelines to where if they do try and violate me, I have no other choice but to defend my life. But educationally, I hit them with the same shit that they learned. The Constitution stood for me too. I'm not gonna be an American citizen in that Constitution that protects all them rich motherfucking people, politicians, judges, dirty cops, dirty judges, dirty lawyers, all that. That Constitution protects y'all, it protects me too. And I will not be silenced. I got the descendant of the Malcolm X blood. And I also got the peaceful blood of the Martin Luther King. I made my mistakes in life. I had relationships where I cheated in, but that made me better not to cheat and realize that when somebody really shows you that they love you, you fucking stand still no matter how tough it gets. And as a man, you protect that whole motherfucking unit. I don't give a damn if it costs you your life. That's what the real men do. That's the energy that I have here at Smoke and Mirrors. We ain't talking that watered down shit. This shit might hurt some people's feelings, and that's okay because everybody's entitled to their opinion, just like I am too. They said the most dangerous thing in this world is an educated black man who's not scared of shit. I'm one of them.
And if you love revolution, you love black nationalism.
What many haven't realized is that the white man only gave us scraps and called it freedom. They kept the land, the wealth, the power, and told us we'd won.
You heard? They give you bone, they throw you bones. Yeah, y'all could come and work in the workforce. Yeah, y'all equal enough. But we gonna tax y'all. Yeah, y'all could come and work and think y'all getting rich, but we're richer. Y'all could only rent from the land. Y'all cannot purchase and own the land. That's why I'm starting the program on my channel too, where I'll have a segment where I'll start be giving out information on how to obtain land. Things that I found out, education that I obtained to find the land and obtain the land and become part of America's landowner. Black landowner. Don't matter what color you are. Education's education. Education don't got a color. Only if you're learning the real education. Not what you being manipulated with.
Because we could ride the same bus or pee in the same stall. But as Malcolm X said, these are not progress. A real revolution.
You heard what he said? They threw you the idea like, okay, let's segregate. Y'all want to share the same bathroom? Cool. Y'all want to eat in the same spot? Cool. We just gonna keep getting this money and owning this property, and y'all still gonna work for us and have to pay us to pay off this shit, and we still gonna get rich off y'all. Y'all can have the little shit that y'all fighting for, y'all rallying for with your peace signs, and we want equal rights. Okay, you can have the shit, but you ain't reading in the fine print that the equal rights is not really equal at all. You're still being charged to be equal. You have to pay to be equal. Name a country other than the United States where every person born in that country is a dollar bill for that country. Your social security number, since the day you existed, has been bringing this country a whole lot of money. Y'all didn't know this? Y'all knew this, but y'all niggas don't want to act on it. Yeah, the country owes y'all money for the beginning of y'all existence. Y'all are being taxed twice. Y'all go to work for a measly bullshit paycheck to go cash it and be taxed by a government who's already making money off of your existence. And y'all niggas is smart, right? Y'all niggas want to say, I'm smart, you know what you know, but y'all ain't acting on nothing. So y'all are the sheep that's going along with the blueprint agenda that Martin Luther King was preaching. Malcolm X was teaching you how to go get your shit. Don't be no fool and let nobody take advantage of you. Nobody understands Malcolm.
Black nationalism.
What many haven't realized is that the white man only gave us scraps and called it freedom. They kept the land, the wealth, the power, and told us we'd won because we could ride the same bus or pee in the same stall. But as Malcolm X said, these are not progress. A real revolution doesn't beg for space inside the empire. It burns the empire down and builds something of its own. What you're about to hear next is what they've always feared: black nationalism, unfiltered.
From this to this, just 5 minutes.
I'm trying to tell you, smoke and mirrors when you're tired of being gassed. This is unfiltered. This podcast is not the podcast that some of y'all might want to get tuned into because it's going to hurt feelings.
This is the part they scrubbed from history books: the house Negro, the field Negro, and the war still being waged between them.
To understand this, you have to go back to what young brother here referred to as the house Negro and the field Negro. Back during slavery, there was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food when he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved himself. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would.
Sounds like some of these rap executives too.
The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro said, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick. He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, let's run away, let's escape, let's separate, that house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. You know?
Now, if you look at the whole situation, Malcolm was trying to tell y'all how we are really being treated. And Martin Luther King was saying, we don't need to get violent. We just need to pray. That sounds like some of the old black clergy members nowadays. We don't need to get out there and get violent. We don't need all of that. We don't need that. We just need to sit back and pray. We pray while they kill us. This is why they wanted to get rid of Malcolm. This is why they gave Dr. Martin Luther King a national holiday. The difference between the field Negro and the house Negro.
Those days he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today, because we still got some house niggers running around here. This modern house nigger loves his master. He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, I'm the only Negro out here.
Don't that sound like the rappers in the rap game? A lot of these industry executives and big tycoons and fruit baskets, they want to live next to their bosses and say, y'all niggas can't get no money like me. Y'all niggas ain't living out here. Look where I'm at my own island. They started getting islands because Epstein had an island. Niggas wanted to move in the big Beverly Hills areas because that's where the executives was at doing freaky shit. They wanted to be the only nigga living in the neighborhood. So they could go around they people and make they people feel low. Like, I'm the only nigga that live in the upper Beverly Hills area or the Miami executive elite areas and all this other shit motherfuckers want to say, right? I live on Star Island. Come to find out, Star Island was a freaky area, and a lot of rich people that was living out there, they don't live out there no more because niggas done lost their homes. Y'all wanted to do that.
And if someone come to you right now and say, let's separate, you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. What you mean separate? From America? This good white man? Where you gonna get a better job than you get here? I mean, this is what you say. I ain't left nothing in Africa. That's what you say. Why you left your mind in Africa.
Well, right now, shout outs to Akon. I don't know what's going on with him, but certain parts of Africa is looking real nice. He's saying production in Africa is about to take all the way off.
Said it clear. There are still house Negroes walking among us, not chained by force, but chained in the mind. The kind that defends the system because they get to sit a little closer to it. The kind that sees the master's comfort as their...
Boy, y'all heard what he said? This is what's going on right now. Somehow people get a little bit of power and be abusing it. Some of these people become police officers and be abusing it. That shit don't be right, though.
Among us, not chained by force, but chained in the mind. The kind that defends the system because they get to sit a little closer to it. The kind that sees the master's comfort as their own. Malcolm X reminds us that this is not freedom. You'll understand more as he goes into the contrast with the field Negro.
On that same plantation, there was the field Negro. The field Negro, those were the masses. There was always more Negroes in the field than there was Negroes in the house. The Negro in the field caught hell. He ate leftovers. In the house, they ate high up on the hole. The Negro in the field didn't get nothing but what was left of the insides of the hole.
That's where you get the chitlins. That's where you get all that shit from that everybody be eating. And a lot of you motherfuckers eat pork and eat the chitlins and all that. There's some of you motherfuckers out there talking like, I don't eat the chitlins. Yes, you did. You grew up on it. I used to smell that shit in my mom's and them's crib and say, ew, that's nasty. I'm not eating that. That stink. I'm not eating that. Even before you even make it. The chitlins is the intestines of the pig. That's where all the shit travels through. Just like in your intestines, shit travels through your intestines, and it don't be all the way clean. Y'all niggas be eating vile sometimes. Pig has no sweat glands. Chicken eats everything off the floor. Fish eats everything from the bottom. You could clean fish better than you could clean chicken and red meat. You ain't supposed to eat red meat, and you ain't supposed to eat pork. Listen to them.
They call them chitlins nowadays. In those days, they call them what they were, guts. That's what.
Did you hear them?
In the house, they ate high up on the hole. The Negro in the field didn't get nothing but what was left of the insides of the hole. They call them chitlins nowadays. In those days, they call them what they were, guts. That's what you were, a gut eater. And some of you are all still gut eaters. From morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes.
Nowadays, the slave is the black man that's becoming the prisoner falsely. Police, dirty police, beating up black men, black young, throwing them in jail with these bogus charges, and where black kids got to fight for their freedom. The prison system is a lot of people in there that was falsely accused by the police and you know, unlawfully imprisoned by a system that just do it to make money. See, everything's about money with this country.
And he hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, they were in the majority. And they hated the master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind, for a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where are we going? He said, any place is better than here. You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masters are the field Negroes. When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble. They say the government is in trouble. Imagine a Negro, our government. I even heard one say our astronauts. They won't even let him near the plant. And our astronauts, our Navy, that's a Negro that's out of his mind. That's a Negro that's out of his mind. Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check.
And that's what they did with Martin Luther King. They made him a house Negro. He grew up in an era where black people was getting hung. Some of his family ancestors got hung, chased by the Klan, killed, I believe. He saw it growing up, beaten up by white kids, disrespected. He's seen his people disrespected, and he's praying for peace. We just know it wasn't in him. And at the end of the day, it was still going on while he was sitting there hoping for a miracle that still hasn't taken place today. Just like they said, they gave you bones. All right, we could go to the same schools. We could shop in the same spots. Y'all can be free. Y'all don't have to be slaves no more. We'll own the land. Y'all have still got to rent from us. Come get us. Y'all still got to do all of that. And we gonna march. And I'm gonna cheat on my wife. Sad to say, but that's how it was played, and that's how it goes, because that's what the man did. There is no lie behind nothing that was said. There's no lie behind nothing that was said.
The FBI studied Malcolm, and when they studied Martin, one went and spoke and came back to the hotel and prayed and talked on the phone with his wife, and they don't have no dirt on him. The other one went and spoke and came back to the room and partied and fucked like a motherfucker in every town he went to. That was the Christian.
How do you know that, though?
Because it's documented evidence. The FBI said that Malcolm X was a saint compared to the doctor. It's very well documented that Dr. Martin Luther King was just like any man. He was a whoremongering preacher compared to Malcolm, who has no documentation of doing anything such like the preacher. Yeah.
And that's why they showed you Martin and showed you Martin more and showed you less of Malcolm. Martin Luther King was just like any other black man that was tempted by temptation, didn't respect the woman that he had. And that was never talked about in his legacy at all. Miss Coretta Scott King is a strong black woman because even up until his death, she still had to deal with that. She probably still deals with that. But at the end of the day, that was never mentioned during the civil rights movement publicly. That was never mentioned during his legacy at all. And those is just facts. Salute to everybody who tuned in, man. Make your circle a dot. Keep your grass cut. Be aware of your surroundings. And most importantly, stack chicken. Till next time, I'm out of here.